What do we do when we find ourselves in confined spaces or maybe even surrounded by hardscape that won't reflect our RF? Or maybe we get on a large mast that gets our antenna up in the air and we can't possibly get the traditional ground radials that we're used to operating with. We like the height as might, but we just can't find a way to install radials. Hey everyone, I'm Bob, KD4BMG HOA Ham, and today we're going to talk about Chameleon's permanent HOA Stinger Kit as a means to get a counterpoise or ground plane erected in such a way that we can operate in these challenging conditions. And why yes, that is a 20-meter hamstick on top of my Chameleon tripod Stinger Kit and hybrid micro.
All right, 73, have a good one. Thank you for the contact. Yours is?
Kilo Delta 4 Bravo Mike Golf.
Delta 4, Bravo Mike Golf. Please go ahead.
Yeah, you're 5'7", 57 into Tampa, Florida this evening.
Thank you for the 57. And you're about to say 57 into the Virginia Park tonight.
Sounds fantastic. Have a blast, friend. 73.
73, thank you for the contact. Take care. Yours is?
I often demonstrate gear in this less than ideal environment, 5 feet away from a concrete block stucco wall on one side and 5 feet away from an aluminum porch on the other side, on top of a concrete slab. No problem, we made that contact. Here I am putting this Stinger Kit on top of my portamast. This is a 20-foot portamast. You can see I pre-assembled the Stinger Kit. I'll show you how to assemble it in case you can't pre-assemble it and attach it the way I just did, say on a ground spike in the ground that you need to pound in with a hammer. I have my HOA hybrid micro. I've put my coax on here, and now I'm using the MPass 2.0 vertical, the mill extension, and then the military whip. You're going to see me twist it on here like with 1/4 of a turn. This will be in a future tips and tricks video series for the MPass kit, but here you can see I just twist my wrist and it's installed. I'm using a quick disconnect so that I can easily get that when I'm fully stretched into the top of that mast. And here you're just seeing how quickly this goes up on the portamast. So I've been asked many times when I put this MPass on top of the portamast, the full vertical, or if I put an MPass light up here, what do I do for radials? You could hang radial wires. You can use the coax, your shield of the coax. Here's a better solution. Give yourself a ground plane with the Chameleon Stinger Kit. This was me setting up to put that hamstick on the back porch. Again, in a confined area, not in free space, but yet we were able to make that contact with relative ease. So again, the easiest way for me to do this on my back porch using the tripod was just to pre-assemble the Stinger Kit. I've pre-assembled it here. I'm attaching it to my ground spike. If, like me, you're fortunate enough to have soft soil, you'll just be able to push this in the ground. Perhaps for a higher percentage of you, you're going to need to put your ground spike in the ground first with a mallet and then screw in this hub. Next up, you have 6 stingers. You don't have to put all 6 in. As a matter of fact, when you utilize this, you essentially have a counterpoise or a ground plane, and you might have to adjust the number of these stingers that you apply to get the SWR to its maximum or optimal performance. I'm showing you here just how quickly and easily these 6 stingers go into the ground spike, and you could have done this on the portamast. You could do it on a tripod or any of a number of different mounting options. This goes up quickly, so you can do this for portable operations if you want, but I believe the thought here is more of a permanent installation. It's ideal for things and situations where you have a mast, you're getting up high, and you don't want to have to do things very often. You don't want to have to make changes, so get it set up correctly one time and then fly your antenna. Or if you're doing something in a confined hard space, like maybe in an HOA or in a townhome where you have limited space, you can get this set up once and you're good to go. Of course, this is Chameleon quality. It's exactly what we expect from Chameleon. This center hub, it's turned and machined out of aluminum, then sent out for anodize. And the stingers themselves, they're made from stainless. All the hardware is stainless. Exactly what we expect. For those of you paying attention to the clock on the screen, that was a whopping 1 minute and 6 seconds for the addition of this Stinger kit. Take out all the other installation of what I was doing there for my MPass light. The Stinger kit by itself, 1 minute, 6 seconds. So that is certainly reasonable for portable operations. If you're headed somewhere, you're not quite sure how much space you're going to have available to you, you're not sure if you're going to be on a hardscape, this is certainly a rational option for you. For those of you who need some additional assistance on understanding how this works, this is a close-up view of the hub. It has 6 different individual holes that you would put the stingers in, and then 6 set screws that you would torque down. You're looking at the 3/8 by 24 on the top. Here's the 3/8 by 24 on the bottom, and it does adjust in and out so you can get it set up exactly how you need for your mounting option. You're going to loosen each one of the set screws one by one for as many of the stingers that you want to install. Simply insert the stinger into the side hole for that stinger and tighten down on that set screw, and then you're absolutely ready to go. And like I said before, either pre-assemble it if your operation allows you to. If not, put the hub on your mount and then put in each individual stinger as you need them. Let's quickly talk about the various mounts and antenna systems with Chameleon. This will work with, of course, you saw me use it with a ham stick, so you can use it with competitive gear, not a problem at all. We'll talk about that quick disconnect just in case you can't wait for that tips and tricks video for the MPass series. And then I want to close with a discussion on quality. Why is this stainless steel and why it's a benefit to you, especially those of you who are new amateur radio operators and may not be familiar with the various materials that these items can be produced in. You saw me put this on a portamast. You saw me use it with the ground spike as well as with the tripod. It will work with any 3/8 by 24 mount, including the fiberglass mount from Chameleon or any competitive mount that handles 3/8 by 24 and can handle your antenna weight. It'll work with the UCM and the jaw mount. Let's talk about this quick disconnect. This is a common quick disconnect for many types of antennas. I wouldn't be afraid to use this with my MPass light, but if I'm going to use something with my full length MPass 2.0 vertical or with the tactical delta loop, I'm going to go with this heavy duty quick disconnect. So let's go in close up and get a look at what these quick disconnects will do. The quick disconnects are a way to quickly attach and deattach an antenna. They're also a way to save your threads from constant use. You use this quick disconnect, you install it one time, and then you use the spring-loaded feature to take your antenna off and on your post constantly. So it has this spring feature inside, so it makes firm contact with the post. You can see that this one has 2 studs on the outside that interconnect with the slots on the other side. And that's what I was using to connect the MPass 2.0 nearly 20-foot vertical on the top of my portamast. Let's talk choice of materials for our favorite amateur radio gear manufacturers. This is a photo of my Stinger kit sitting outside for a month on the back concrete deck. I received this from Chameleon. I put it together. I did my first shot with that ham stick, and then the 4th of July came around. I spent the first 2 days operating the 13 colonies in my spare time, and then we had an out-of-town trip with family. Came back into town almost a week later, went back to work for a couple of days. I do have a full-time job, and then I headed out of town to help some family members out with some events that needed to take place. Almost a full month later, and I'm back to working with my Stinger kit. And when I got home, I'm thinking, oh no, I've left that out there for a month. And then I realized, not a problem, it's Chameleon gear. What do I mean? Well, let's take a look at one of my favorite ground spikes from BD7 Maple. I talk about this many times on the channel. It's a great small ground spike. Comes in the 3/8 by 24 as well as the UHF. Oh, and there you can really see it, can't you? Look at that. I have 4 ferrous metal screws, hardware. So it's hardware that is susceptible to corrosion. I was doing an outdoor test for an extended period of time using that, and all of a sudden I realized, oh shoot, while that's a really cool ground spike that has, I think, some combination of stainless and aluminum components, it has 8 ferrous metal screws, and now I have corrosion all over that. Zero corrosion with the HOA Stinger kit. Let's get a look at the hub here. You can see a month out in the heat of the summer months here in Tampa Bay. Constant showers, thunderstorms, zero corrosion. And of course, the stingers that I've already taken off are stainless steel, zero corrosion. So what you want to be paying attention to, amateur radio operators, are manufacturers that use premium products, or if they don't, realize that you can't leave them outside for extended periods of time and exposed to the weather elements. Not a problem with this Stinger kit. Again, what we expect if we're going to put it on some type of mast. All right, I hope you found this useful. It's time to go play radio. Talk to you soon, friend. 73.